Welcome to Red Eye. Hello, everyone. I am Tom Shillue. Let's check in with TV's Andy Levy at the Red Eye Tees deck. Andy.
Thanks, Tom. Coming up on the big show, Donald Trump says don't worry about his tough phone calls that he has with other countries. By the way, I just realized he's giving the finger. I honestly just noticed that. Yeah. Go ahead and scroll up. I don't even need a punchline there. He's giving the finger. Plus, Arnold Schwarzenegger offers to switch jobs with President Trump. I can't tell if this is a better idea for America or for Schwarzenegger's next film. And finally, a new dating app finds your matches based on your mutual hatred of certain things. Sadly for me, the thing I hate most is dating apps. Oh well. Back to you, Tom.
Thank you, Andy. Let's welcome our guests. You down with GOP? Yeah, you know she. Columnist and author of the new book, Government Gone Wild, Kristen Tate. He appeared on Last Comic Standing. He was the first comic leaving. Comedian Louis J. Gomez. Like all of the Smiths you hear on the radio, he's super depressing. Comedian Dave Smith.
Too real.
And his special is called State of the Union. Judging by his appearance, I'd say the union is about to be divorced. Hey, a lot of sitting right next to me. Comedian Jimmy Fallon. Okay, let's start the show.
A lot of tough love. What is this?
President Trump is willing to talk tough to friend and foe alike. The Washington Post reports that the president's phone call on Saturday with Australia's Prime Minister, Malcolm Turnbull, turned heated. The reason? Trump doesn't like the pledge made by the Obama administration to take in over 1,200 refugees from an Australian detention center. Senior U.S. officials tell the Post, Trump said, quote, "This is the worst deal ever." And he complained that he was going to get killed politically and accused Australia of seeking to export the next Boston bombers. The Post reports, at one point, Trump informed Turnbull that he had spoken with 4 other world leaders that day and that this was the worst call by far. When Turnbull tried to change topics, Trump ended the call. Now, Red Eye was able to obtain some other quotes from Trump during the conversation. According to our source, Trump told Turnbull he was never a fan of Crocodile Dundee. He has just about had it with koala bears. And he even gave the Prime Minister his opinion of the Great Barrier Reef. These are all real quotes. On Thursday, the president told people, don't worry about this tough talk.
The world is in trouble, but we're going to straighten it out, okay? That's what I do. I fix things. We're going to straighten it out. Believe me, when you hear about the tough phone calls I'm having, don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. They're tough. We have to be tough. It's time we're going to be a little tough, folks. We're taken advantage of by every nation in the world virtually. It's not going to happen anymore.
It's not going to happen. Jimmy, it's not going to happen, right? Listen, look, he says he's talking tough with anybody. He doesn't care who it is.
This is, you know how they say you can't change grandpa?
Yeah.
I think what we realize now...
I don't know if they say.
Well, that's like a theory. They say, oh, you can't change grandpa.
Yeah.
I think we've gotten to this theory at, like, the top of government now where they understand how to deal with Trump. That's why I'm not scared.
Yeah.
Like, you know, have you ever had a grandparent who loses their filter? You know, like, how are you, Grandma? You look fat. You know what I mean? Like, that's hello. I think he's gotten to that place now where, you know, you take Grandpa out to dinner and he orders something he's not allowed to have, and after the waiter goes to walk away, like, you grab him and you're like, yo, he can't have cheese. Like, I think that's what's going on with Trump's phone calls. I think he's ordering something from Malcolm Turnbull, and then right as he goes to hang up, like, Pence picks up on the other line, he's like, yeah, we can't have cheese. Like, I think everything is cool, because I think we now realize at the top of government that, yeah, like, we kind of enjoy this, but he's doing grandpa stuff. He's the oldest guy ever elected. Everyone forgets that. He's 70.
He is.
He might have just lost his filter. I love it, but as a president, it looks a little silly.
Look, I love it just like Jimmy does, but I think Jimmy was funny, but Kristen...
Oh, no.
He was funny, but he doesn't make a lot of sense because this deal was terrible. I mean,
it was bad.
It was horrible.
The Australian deal, do you know their program? They don't accept people onto their shores. That's why these refugees, They're basically in prison because Australia doesn't want them.
Australia wouldn't take them. I'm so glad that Trump is pushing back against this horrible deal. Why the heck would Obama agree to take thousands of illegal immigrants from Australia? We've got enough illegal immigrants here already. We have become the dumping ground for the world's problems. This is just us being a dumping ground to Australia's problems.
And it's a great opportunity for Donald Trump to prove that he doesn't just hate brown immigrants.
Well, they are actually Muslim migrants.
Oh, forget it.
You know, I just want to say, I don't appreciate you calling us a dumping ground for the world's problems and looking right at Lewis.
No, every time she said illegal immigrant, she went illegal immigrants.
I thought the throat clearing was a little
immigrants.
Okay, first off, Lewis is a good friend of mine. I happen to know for a fact he's Puerto Rican, so he can't be an illegal immigrant. Although we all know we should change that law ASAP. Trump, if you're watching, ASAP.
DT.
Lewis, that is not going to change. But look, I'm talking about, whether you agree with immigration policy or not, they're being hypocritical because Australia is the ones who, they don't want those immigrants.
Yeah.
That's why they made the deal with Obama.
Yeah. Well, here, look, obviously they're being hypocrites, okay? But look, man, when I heard tough phone call, like, let me tell you some tough phone calls that I've made. Have you ever had to call a girl up and be like, dude, I don't know what's going on. It's burning down there every time I pee. That's a tough phone call, okay? You have to, I mean, look, at the end of the day, I think that Trump is hilarious. Just watching him every time he speaks is just, it's a very entertaining endeavor.
Oh, yeah.
But, to be honest with you, he's, Trump, I feel like Trump is the only guy who has, like, a prank answering machine on his cell phone. Like, you call it up and you get to his answering machine and it's like, hello?
He does the hello, hello, hello.
Hello?
Yeah.
Just kidding. You got the president. All right, call me back, leave a message. But yeah, that's all I got to say about that.
Hello.
But Kristen, what do you think, do you think we should have to honor every deal? This thing was signed just before Trump took office. I mean, but most people across the board, most of the politicians say, look, we have to honor all our agreements. But, he got out of the TPP.
Yeah, these people are not our problem. These people Australia doesn't want them. The days are over of us being pushovers and allowing everyone to take advantage of us. America was like the big kid that just sat there getting poked over and over. Everyone kept poking us and we never poked them back. Well, now guess what? We're fed up, we're standing up, and we're saying enough.
Yeah, so that's,
I mean,
even if everything goes, he honors the deal, whatever, at least, he pushed back a little bit.
Exactly.
I think that's good. Okay, President Trump is feuding with Australia and an Austrian. On Thursday, while speaking at the National Prayer Breakfast, the president took a jab at the ratings of the new Celebrity Apprentice, with the show's creator, Mark Burnett, sitting just a few feet away.
But we had tremendous success on The Apprentice, and when I ran for president, I had to leave the show. That's when I knew for sure I was doing it. And they hired a big movie star, Arnold Schwarzenegger, to take my place. And we know how that turned out. The ratings went right down the tubes. It's been a total disaster. And Mark will never, ever bet against Trump again. And I want to just pray for Arnold, if we can, for those ratings. Okay?
It's a nice sentiment. He wanted to pray for him. Within minutes, Arnold Schwarzenegger responded with a Twitter video.
Hey, Donald, I have a great idea. Why don't we switch jobs? You take over TV because you're such an expert in ratings, and I take over your job. And then people can finally sleep comfortably again.
Please. Lewis, Trump keeps slamming Schwarzenegger, but do you think this is all a plot to raise the ratings? He's still a producer on the show.
Yeah, very smart move. We're all talking about it. There's a whole little feud. People like conflict.
Yeah.
Okay, but I like Schwarzenegger's idea, but I really thought he was going to say, it's like, how about I come be president and you come be a Terminator? I shows how easy it is to do an Arnold Schwarzenegger impersonation. It's unbelievable. So much fun.
Thanks for calling yourself on that, because Dave and I are outraged.
Yeah.
You did that.
No,
I have no arm.
Jimmy, look, don't tell me you haven't done the voice on stage.
Never.
When things got rough.
No, in case of emergency break glass, no, I've never Arnold. I don't have it in me.
Okay.
I don't have that level of
Jimmy, come on, hit the ground.
Hey,
we should all just do this whole segment in Arnold voice.
I just want to say this. Who is sleeping comfortably if Arnold is president?
That's the most outrageous part.
Like, a woman on a date with Bill Cosby still isn't sleeping comfortably with Arnold as president. No one is comfortable. Is he out of his mind?
Well, look.
Shut up.
I know you might have said that a few years ago, but Dave, the guy he had 2 terms as governor of California, right?
That's right.
That's how was my. Hey, I did a little.
That was great right there.
Oh man, if,
Dave, you gotta do it now.
Trump gets in a fight with Christopher Walken, you're in for a whole new show. Jimmy nailed it on the head. What's so amazing about is that you see the lack of self-awareness of Schwarzenegger, because he goes like, then we would have a totally realistic, totally
you guys
reasonable
are
argument.
horrific at
like
your
me.
impressions, by the way. I'll put it out there, you guys are awful at the easiest impression.
I thought that one wasn't bad. That was Rodney.
It was going to go into a thing, but all right.
Kristen, let's hear your Arnold Schwarzenegger impression.
I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger.
There you go.
That was so good. It's like to be a hot woman. It's like, yes, so good.
We all said it was awesome.
Yeah.
You didn't stand up.
Thank you.
But Kristen,
Just phonies.
That is the problem with comedy.
Yeah.
look what happens here. You have Arnold, like everyone is acting like Trump. Oh, look at he's the reality show president. Oh, look, he's being so silly, whatever. But everybody else does the same thing. He's got his Twitter video. They all answer him quickly, right?
Yeah, and Trump is better at both things. Trump is better at politics, and he went into it with zero experience, and he's better at TV, and he went into that with zero experience. And I'm sure Arnold Schwarzenegger wants to be president, but nobody wants him, and technically, you can't be president in this country if you weren't born here, besides Barack Obama. I'm just Dawson.
Whoa.
Jimmy, I don't even remember. Did I go to you yet during this segment?
I don't, but to Schwarzenegger's point, who even knows if you did? People say like, oh, Trump is so thin-skinned and he always has to acknowledge this stuff. I don't think that's what it is. This is a serious point I'm trying to make. I think he's competitive.
Yeah.
I think he is a relentlessly competitive guy who can't let any slight go. I don't think it's thin-skinned. I think he has. He's
a fighter.
Say he's like a Michael Jordan in that people would say like if you knew Michael Jordan and you beat him in cards, he would insist on a rematch
I think
any
you're
hour
right.
of the night.
What Trump can't do is not hit back.
Yes.
And we've seen this throughout the entire campaign. Like if you say a thing about his hands, he has to respond.
Goes right in.
He can't not. If he gets hit, he has to hit back.
But he has a sense of humor, too. Like, that was hilarious.
That was
and he
funny.
knew it. He was laughing. That's why everyone loves Trump.
Arnold should stick to doing what he does best, which is knocking up maids. Just shut up. Nobody cares. By the way, when he has sex with a maid, who gets the towel? That's what I want to know at the end. How does that end?
I don't know what that means, Jimmy. Okay, moving on. Violent protests erupted at UC Berkeley Wednesday night ahead of a planned talk by controversial yet fabulous Breitbart editor Milo Yiannopoulos. The school ended up deciding to cancel the entire event. The protesters were at least willing to debate a Trump supporter who showed up.
Our CBS station in the Bay Area spoke with one apparent Trump supporter who was drowned out by protesters on live TV.
The next morning, President Trump tweeted, "If UC Berkeley does not allow free speech and practices violence on innocent people with a different point of view, no federal funds?" Now, what could have given the president that idea? Maybe he was watching Fox and Friends first and saw conservative hero Todd Starnes say this.
Here's what needs to happen. President Trump should immediately issue an executive order blocking Berkeley students from receiving any federal funding. Same goes for any other public university that wants to silence conservative voices. Free speech for all or no federal money. Not a single taxpayer penny, period.
So, did Starnes get the president to take action? I'm not surprised, because that's the power of Starnes. Power of Starnes. I love that. Dave?
Tom, it seemed like a bit of a stretch to me.
What's that?
That's the power of Starnes.
The power of what do you get? A stretch? This proves the power of Starnes.
Yes.
Starnes was on Fox and Friends. Trump watches it every day. And he practically quoted him.
He does watch all the shows.
He does. That came right
fine.
from Todd Starnes.
No, I meant like the gimmick and the song.
Well, I mean, we got to use it.
I went with it. I'm a yes and guy.
Yeah, we got to use it if we got it. Dave, I mean, this is you're totally into this. This is all about speech. This is your bailiwick, friend.
Well, yeah, I believe in free speech. I don't really like using the power of federal money to influence speech necessarily, so it's kind of weird. You know, it's like fighting communism with fascism, which always works out well for the people.
But look, why cut these people a check? I can't even believe the federal government is still giving money.
They never should have been cutting them a check to begin with, probably. So I'm with you on that part. I think what at least is happening is that the left is being exposed. I mean, this is like, you know what really bugs me about this is that it's the most privileged thing you could possibly do for people who are always saying, check your privilege. Who do you think is cleaning up this mess? Billionaires? Like, it's literally some poor person who's got to come along and clean this up the next day. It's disgusting.
Good point, Kristen. I say they're not fulfilling their duty. They have a charter. They're supposed to be, about open minds and ideas. They're not doing it. Cut off the money.
Exactly. And I'm so glad that Trump is coming in there and slaying this political correctness. It's just disgusting. And if these universities will not protect free speech, and if they're going to tolerate violence against conservatives, then yeah, take away their funding. And if they don't like it, they can go to the Supreme Court, and Justice Gorsuch can be the deciding vote on whether they get the funding or not. There we go.
There you go.
Everything she says, I love. She smells amazing.
It's great.
She can do whatever she wants.
But Louis, what?
You want my wallet?
Yeah.
Louis, they're out of control. They have, they're burning it.
It's out of control, Tom.
And it started with Milo. He went to give a speech.
A homosexual. Can you believe this? They had the flag up on that library. I thought they were in support of homosexuals. Tom, here's the thing. There's a big problem there. And I thought of the solution. I'm listening to everybody talk right now, okay? Who's going to clean up that mess, right? Yeah, we were saying, not the privileged, not the billionaires. You know who's going to clean up that mess?
Who?
Those refugees from Australia. Bring them over.
I see
what you did there.
Have them clean up the mess. We figured out all the problems.
Let's give them a job, right?
That's funny. It works. This is where I have respect for those
Get off that as quickly as possible.
Listen, I'm trying to keep the show on the air here, Mel. Whose side are you on? You ghost riding this thing? This is where I have, this is my two big issues with the protesters. They made Milo's speech and his web content and his archive of content probably not necessarily more appealing, but more visible to the rest of the country by doing this. Because before they burnt down Berkeley, no one even knew he was speaking there last night. 99% of the country did not even know this was going on. They just amplified his presence.
It's like a beacon, that fire.
There it is. Now, this is where I do have respect for them, though. That's a almost an impossible protest to organize, because there's no way you can text the word Yiannopoulos past your spell check in your phone.
Exactly.
They started sending that text a month and a half ago.
Yellow?
Yeah.
No.
Yogurt and such? There's no way you can text it past your phone.
Well, it is. It's all coming, this is a boon for Milo. He's got a book coming out, and they protested his book. They said they were going to boycott the publisher. It's, it's going to be a bestseller because of it.
If you were Milo's publicist, you couldn't have paid for better publicity than what he's gotten. I mean, it's unintentional on their part. Yeah, the crazy thing to me about Milo is that he's not even like that radical.
No.
I mean, Milo supports people like Rudy Giuliani. If you actually get down to it, he's kind of a middle-of-the-road Republican. He's just completely unapologetic about it. So this is what they can't get, is that it's a conservative who's not coming in I know my narrative's been overrepresented, but can I please? So he's unapologetic and just goes. I'm like an anarchist libertarian. I'm like, if you're offended by this guy, please, you don't want to know what I believe.
And it's also like a black conservative, a gay conservative. It really
messes with them.
They lose their mind. A Latino, anybody who's a member of a protected class. Do you remember how Caitlyn Jenner went from the sacred deity of America on the Vanity Fair cover?
Yes.
So we don't even acknowledge her existence. There was a point where she was so sacred, she was able to kill someone with her SUV and still be kind of saintly. But now she's a Republican, and they're like, and who?
Yes.
They've done.
And it is. It may, you may be right. It may have something to do with the conservative politics. Okay, coming up. Does this look like a man you can trust with your secrets? Find out what Trump's former doctor revealed about the president next.
Live from America's News headquarters, I'm Jackie Ibanez in New York. The Trump administration may be striking a tougher line with Israel. The president now warning Prime Minister Netanyahu that constructing new settlements, quote, may not be helpful to Middle East peace efforts. Until now, Mr. Trump has appeared sympathetic to Netanyahu's cause. But the administration claims it has not taken an official position yet. And in response, Israel's UN ambassador says this morning it's too early to tell how this might affect future building. President Trump will meet with Netanyahu in D.C. later this month. And there's also word out of Washington that the White House is preparing to levy sanctions on Iran after it test-fired a ballistic missile. Sources tell the Associated Press the sanctions are expected to be levied as early as today. As many as 24 Iranian individuals, companies, and possibly government agencies could be penalized. Another night of violence at an American college campus. New York City police, they're out in force at NYU due to an appearance by conservative actor Gavin McInnes. McInnes was invited to attend a seminar sponsored by campus Republicans. Protesters showed up and forced to register their displeasure. Cops made a number of arrests. On Wednesday night, you may remember, UC Berkeley was rocked by violent demonstrators protesting a planned speech by Breitbart news editor Milo Yiannopoulos. The event had to be canceled. GOP Senate leaders have scheduled a vote at 6:30 a.m. this morning to advance Betsy DeVos' nomination to serve as Secretary of Education. Republican lawmakers say they are fed up with Democratic delays. The extra early vote might allow them to get a head start in running time off the procedural clock. Republicans are confident they have the 51 votes needed to end the debate. If so, she could win confirmation by Monday. I'm Jackie Ibanez. Now back to Red Eye. For all of your headlines, log on to foxnews.com.
The doctor is incapable of keeping secrets. President Trump's longtime physician, Dr. Harold Bornstein, told all to the New York Times, revealing medical secrets of our new president. The doc, who placed fourth in a 2004 Big Lebowski lookalike contest, says Trump takes 3 different medications: an antibiotic to treat rosacea, a statin for his cholesterol, and Propecia to treat male pattern baldness. Dr. Bornstein says he also takes Propecia, crediting it with helping both men maintain their luscious locks. Quote, "He has all his hair, I have all my hair." Other fun facts revealed by the physician: some call Dr. Jekyll while probably high. Come on, guys, that was a good one. He loves the fame of being associated with Trump, but hates, quote, "the fun made of me." And he says, "I am probably the only person in the world who has every phone number for him and all the wives." This disclosure could come back to haunt Dr. Bornstein, as it could violate HIPAA laws. A New York Times reporter who contributed to the piece tweeted, "The degree to which this doctor has violated confidentiality repeatedly really is something." Lewis, what do you think? I mean, should he have revealed? This is nothing bad. I mean, this is what, a lot of old guys take all these drugs. No big secrets.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go out and just give people's medical history out,
Isn't that what they want, though? They were begging for more of it.
Yeah, well, no, I'm just saying, I think that I don't pay attention to HIPAA laws. I have no idea what HIPAAs do and why they even have their own set of laws. But I'm not going to sit here and always bash Trump. They shouldn't be giving his medical information out. As simple as that, man.
Yeah, well, it's his doctor.
And also, it says something about who he is because he takes for his hair, right? And then you go like, all right, well, it says something about his confidence. And as a man and as somebody who because look, I'm bald. Women like this, right?
They do.
Am I wrong or am I right, Kristen?
You're right.
How sexy is this? Unbelievable. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So,
Send in the punt team.
He should just let it go and show the world that he's a confident man. And now that we know this little tidbit about him, I'm questioning his confidence.
But Kristen, a lot of his hair, a lot of his personality comes from the hair. And there's nothing wrong with taking a lot of guys take this drug. They use what's the stuff you rub on your head? Rogaine.
Yeah, that stuff you see on the infomercials.
Yeah.
People are obsessed with his hair. I don't know what's on his head, Tom. I don't care. If it makes Melania happy, it makes me happy. People are just jealous. They are jealous of Melania, they are jealous of his money, and they're jealous of his hair. And frankly, I don't care what's on his head as long as he secures the border, brings jobs back, and blows ISIS the hell up.
There you
That's all
go.
I care about.
Blow him up.
Blow
Dave,
ISIS.
But what do you think?
I care about what's on his hair.
You do?
I don't care about the border so much.
But about the doctor, I mean, is this unethical?
Yeah.
The thing that strikes me is that before they were saying, look at this crazy doctor, he's not revealing anything, because he sent out that one sheet that said he's really healthy. And now
He said a lot more than he's really healthy. He said he's in tremendous health.
Yes.
He's Dr. Trump. Trump found his own Trump. And that's what he does. You would think a doctor, I mean, I'll tell you, even when I saw the article, I was like, oh man, he told all of the prescriptions that he's on, and then they were like, oh, he might get in trouble for this. You're like, yeah, I guess the doctor can't just do that, right?
Yeah, he can't.
He literally, it's such a Trump thing. He was making a point about how great both of their hair was.
Yes.
And then he got lost on the fact that, oh yeah, I'm a medical doctor.
Yeah. Well, they don't care. These doctors, they don't think there's anything embarrassing about taking a few drugs, right, Jimmy?
No, they don't care. They're almost pro that. But you know what I deduced from watching this and reading the statement? This is a guy that's definitely sold a few prescription pads on the side. Because anybody who plays that loose, like with right and wrong in terms of divulging that information and stuff, could you look at a picture of that guy and tell me he hasn't moved some Adderall on Craigslist?
Yeah.
I mean,
on the side?
His office is located at Venice Beach.
I mean, all I did was skim to the bottom of the article for a phone number or an email.
I got his card from a girl on rollerblades.
This is my guy.
Look, I think he just because he has a laid-back look. I mean, he doesn't look like a Manhattan doctor. He looks like he should be in Long Beach or something. But I think that he's an upstanding guy. He's a good doctor.
Solid.
But the thing is, they always make people reveal everything. They want to see all the taxes. They want to see the medical reports. We were calling for Hillary's medical stuff, right? Did we ever get them?
No.
No.
What?
So we got our taxes.
Yeah, we got our
boring taxes.
Boring. But I think we had a bigger right to her medical reports than we did Trump's taxes. She fainted.
was fainting.
She fainted on a 68-degree day.
You can get her medical reports. They come in the form of YouTube videos, but she's got Parkinson's, by the way.
Solid. You get them from my dad. So Joe Fela has
But
them.
Hillary respects HIPAA law, so.
That matters. So.
Yeah.
Good, Lewis.
Coming up, Halftime with TV's Andy Levy. And a brand new episode of the Red Eye Podcast is available. Subscribe on iTunes and on FoxNewsRadio.com. Welcome back. Time to find out what we got wrong and what we missed from TV's Andy Levy over in the Red Eye News Deck. Hey, Andy.
Hey, Tom. Yeah. Trump's tough phone calls, as you like to call them.
Yeah.
Jimmy, you said Trump is doing grandpa stuff. Yeah, see, I think tough phone calls are totally fine. Being a to one of our biggest allies and really one of our staunchest military allies strikes me as maybe not a great idea.
It ain't great.
Yeah.
I think I've liked a lot of what he's done, but I've hated the execution.
Did you
travel ban, same way. I didn't wholeheartedly hate it.
Right.
And I thought the hysteria of the Muslim ban, there's 40 countries still allowed to come, I don't consider it a Muslim ban, but I think they could have done a better job of, clarifying the green card situation and stuff like that. But he just doesn't care, and I just think it's refreshing. This is what I do like, Andy. It's cool to have somebody who's this competitive fighting on behalf of us, even when we don't agree with it. It's like when the Yankees got Roger Clemens. I hated Roger Clemens, but I liked having that tough SOB throwing chin music at everybody else.
What he's trying to say is Trump's on steroids.
Yeah, that's what he's trying to say.
Clearly. That's what the doctor left out.
My problem here, Jimmy, is I hate the Red Sox and I hate the Yankees.
Okay.
So it didn't work out for me. No. Dave, you said this is a good chance for Trump to prove he doesn't just hate brown immigrants, and Kristen pointed out that they're mostly Muslims, the ones in Australia. She is correct. They're from countries like Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Iraq, and Somalia.
I take it back. He only hates brown immigrants.
Okay. On the other hand, Kristen, like Trump, you referred to these people as illegal immigrants. They're not. They're refugees.
You know what, Andy? I would expect fake news from CNN, but not from you. So I think you need to put your pink hat on and your vagina costume on and go protest with the other snowflakes.
Whoa. Oh. That escalated quick.
I am more than willing to do that. They're still refugees and not illegal immigrants.
Well, Andy, that's your call.
No, it's not my call. It's an official designation.
No, they came.
But they came to Australia.
They came in many different ways, Andy. It's not a group of refugees in a camp.
I don't want to go through this because we did it the other night and it was like a really long segment. All you need to do is go look it up and you will see that they are actually refugees.
Andy, they came in many different ways to Australia.
I understand
and Australia
they're in a refugee
admits
camp.
that they are illegal immigrants because they are banning them.
No.
And they say, stop coming to our country.
They're refusing to take them as refugees.
I looked it up.
It is
I looked it up on Breitbart.com.
They are illegally coming to the country. They are not being taken from another country as refugees. That's false. False.
Australia won't even let them in the country. They're keeping them in a detention center on an island.
I understand that. They are refugees. Again,
okay, keep saying that word, Andy.
I will keep saying that word because it's accurate.
Yeah,
If we're going to talk about fake news, let's not call people illegal immigrants who aren't illegal immigrants.
Andy, do you know what you wanted to call them?
I can imagine. Trump and Schwarzenegger. Tommy said, hey, look, Arnold had 2 terms as governor of California. But I don't recall him being all that popular when he left office.
Well, he wasn't. He wasn't popular in the first term. But I don't know how he won re-election.
He was the most popular refugee to ever be governor.
That is true. That is true.
But that's why they need to shut up, like California. Like, oh, how can you do that? How could you elect Trump? You elected kindergarten cop.
I know.
Twice. Shut up.
Yeah.
Secede.
I lived in California. I believe I've said this before. I voted for Gary Coleman. I'm not even kidding.
He should have stayed in. He could have won.
He was on the ballot.
Get a shot.
Fella, did you say Schwarzenegger and Preston are hack and then follow that up with the Bill Cosby joke?
No, that's not how it went down. I don't want to go inside baseball here, but we were trashing Schwarzenegger impersonations before we came on the air, and then Lou went big.
Pulled it out.
He saved it, though. He did clarify.
Right.
He keeps the street cred.
All right. Kristen, your Schwarzenegger impression sounded a little like Frau Blucher from Young Frankenstein.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The Berkeley protest. First of all, Dave, how dare you suggest the power of Starnes as a stretch?
Oh, you're sorry. You're right. That was great. I'm sorry. I was thoroughly beaten for that.
Just rude. Tom and Kristen, you both applauded Trump for his tweet, which read, if you see Berkeley does not allow free speech and practices violence and innocent people with a different point of view, no federal funds.
Yeah.
Berkeley didn't stop Milo from speaking or say he couldn't speak there. In fact, he was supposed to be speaking there. The school condemned the violence that caused the cancellation of the speech. Trump's tweet made no sense. Now you can explain to me why I'm wrong.
Fake news.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Well, why they canceled the event, and is that what he's speaking to? The fact that the event
Well, they canceled the event because of
obviously it's on fire.
Because of violence, and it was afraid. But
yeah.
I'm sorry, they didn't say Milo can't speak here. In fact, they scheduled him to speak.
Yeah.
Andy, if you read the statement, though, that the university actually put out before all of this happened, it said, we don't agree with Milo at all, so we're going to allow him to speak. They basically said, we don't agree with Milo, which fueled this hatred and kind of gave a pass to these people to burn down the campus. They aligned themselves with these protesters. They shouldn't be taking a political stance. That is the problem. These education institutions are becoming political institutions.
But let me ask, but wouldn't they kind of, anybody who has extreme views, wouldn't they kind of publicly say, hey, this isn't the view of the school, this is the view of the
school shouldn't have a view, period. It's getting federal tax dollars.
I'm just saying, I think that they were disassociating themselves from a view. I think that they're doing actually what you're saying that they should do.
They shouldn't be disassociating or associating with any view. That's the point. It should be an open campus. Whatever.
Okay. Phil, you pointed out that the protesters made Milo more visible. Yeah, I totally agree. My feeling is the people who peacefully protested him, that's fine. He can go speak. They can protest outside. People who turned it violent suck, A, for turning it violent, B, for giving Milo free PR, and most importantly, C, for getting me bumped from Tucker Carlson's show Wednesday.
Is that true? That happens?
Yes.
Oh, Andy, that's a blow to me.
Yeah.
Because that would be a win, you and him.
I know.
That was a loss for America.
Absolutely. Trump's doctor. Can we put up that picture of Trump's doctor? I don't have anything here. I just love this picture.
Andy, I just love that he shops from the Boss Hogg collection. Sport coat and the white pants. I love this guy.
I could literally stare at that all day.
All day.
Lewis, you said they shouldn't be giving Trump's medical information out, and Tom, you kept saying, but they yelled at the doctor for not giving out enough information in the past.
Yes.
But yeah, Lewis is right, though. Without Trump's permission, he shouldn't have released this stuff. If Trump wants to give him permission, then sure.
Yeah, Tom, suck it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, what are they doing now?
Saying.
What's the New York Times doing, keeping visiting this guy? He shouldn't let them in.
Well, you're probably right about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kristen, I enjoyed your reaction to Lewis here. Do we have this video?
You know, because I'm bald. Women like this, right?
They do.
Am I wrong or am I right, Kristen?
You're right.
How sexy is this? Unbelievable. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So,
the side eye was fantastic. That was excellent. I do have to say, there were two things from the Times piece that struck me. One is this, I'm quoting from the piece. At times in the interviews, Dr. Bornstein was moody, ranging from saying that Mr. Trump's health is none of your business to later volunteering facts. He also meandered, referring to his longtime study of Italian and stories about medical schools floating cadavers to an island off the waters of New York. I love this guy. This guy is great. But then, if you read the whole Times piece to the end, it's really sad. He said, it says, Dr. Bornstein was invited to Mr. Trump's inaugural, although he said it was not as pleasant as an experience as he expected. He had to walk a long way to a spot where he had thought there would be a chair. He said he has a painful back ailment and nerve damage to a leg. But when he got there was no chair. He stood behind a tree and, quote, never heard anyone speak because I was so uncomfortable from my back and being cold.
Wow. He really got the hookup.
It really, it's so sad.
Just pulls your heartstrings.
It really does. I'm done.
Thank you, Andy. Coming up. Could hate be the key to finding love? I bet you'd hate love to know.
Our February sale.
Good morning and live from America's News headquarters. I'm Jackie Ibanez in New York. Defense Secretary Jim Mattis fires off a stern warning directed at North Korea. It came as Mattis was meeting with South Korean officials in Seoul, his first international trip as Pentagon chief.
Any attack on the United States or on our allies will be defeated, and any use of nuclear weapons would be met with a response that would be effective and overwhelming.
The United Nations Security Council now looking into reports of increasing violence in eastern Ukraine. Russia's ambassador to the UN claims Ukraine is provoking the latest surge of violence, but the U.S. and Ukraine blame Russia.
The sudden increase in fighting in eastern Ukraine has trapped thousands of civilians and destroyed vital infrastructure. And the crisis is spreading, endangering many thousands more. This escalation of violence must stop.
The remedy to stop this Russian aggression against my country and to avoid further civilian sufferings is rather simple. What the international community needs to do is to step up pressure on the aggressor and urge Russian Federation to get out of Ukraine.
The UN is calling on the international community to get peace talks between Ukraine and Russian-backed separatists back on track. UN monitors reported more than 10,000 explosions over a recent 24-hour period, the highest number ever. Nordstrom says it will no longer sell Ivanka Trump clothing and accessories. A store spokesman says wouldn't say that if the decision was permanent only. Such decisions are made each season. So we'll see about that. And finally, the state of Mississippi is honoring a native blues legend. The State House has designated a stretch of Interstate 55 as Bo Diddley Memorial Highway. Diddley died of heart failure in 2008. I'm Jackie Ibanez. Back to Red Eye.
Can hate bring people together? A new dating app is launching next week that matches people based on their mutual dislikes. It's called Hater. And it's a swipe-based app. I think it's the first one ever. New York Magazine reports there are over 2,000 topics right now, including Donald Trump, gluten-free, camping, marijuana, butt selfies, and Taylor Swift as a person. Users swipe down for hate, up for love, right for like, and left for dislike, or opt out for neutral. But what fun is that? While the idea started as a joke, it's actually backed up by science. Studies have found that people bond more over shared negative attitudes than shared positive ones. Jimmy, that makes sense to you?
Every shopping experience you've ever had, you have like a 99% chance of making friends over a slow cashier or a woman paying by check, as opposed to like, hey, that guy's really bagging those groceries. No one ever slaps you in the arm and gives you a positive affirmation. My first thought when I saw this app is, wow, now we'll finally find some use for that Ashley Judd speech from the Women's March. I think everyone's going to agree that was a low point for humanity.
Well, I don't really understand these apps. Maybe you do, Lewis. What's going on with
Yeah, I kind of like it, to be honest. I feel like it could really help racists as well.
What?
You know, like, if you're in the KKK, you know, and you don't like black people, boom, just swipe left. It's a nice and simple way to connect with other racist people.
I'm sure they have their own app for that, don't you think?
Do they?
I think that's
download that app?
Yeah, it's called OKK Cupid.
I can't believe, like, someone, whoever's like, it's not bad. That's great. The guy who runs Hater, the company, he's like watching the show, and Lewis goes, I think this is great. And he goes, good, great publicity. And then Lewis goes, I mean, like, if you're in the KKK. This is a big perfect view. And he's just sitting there like, what? No, that's not what this was for at all.
Yeah, look, everyone likes to blast out their opinions online right now. Social media, nobody's posting positive things. It's all, I hate this, I hate that, I hate this. This is the tone of this country. This fits perfectly into the way everybody handles social media
But even before all this age of social media, even if you go back, weren't the long marriages, the long-lasting relationships always built on hate? Isn't that what always kept them together? You know, when you see that couple
Bunker and Edith.
This makes complete sense because there is nothing more satisfying than sitting with someone and bashing something you both hate. Like Obama. I could listen to someone bash Obama for hours. And if you both hate the same things, it's probably likely that you both love the same things. For example, I hate Obama and Hillary Clinton. So I find that I enjoy being around people who also hate them because they love Trump.
Yes, but wouldn't you rather, I think you want to find someone who you want to look for positive qualities first, and then you can get together and complain with them. You don't want to start there, Kristen. Am I right?
No.
You want to start with the negative.
Yes.
I don't think guys.
That's where passion comes out.
But, Dave, guys don't care about any of this stuff. They only want to look at looks.
Yeah, well, whether we're telling you we love stuff or hate stuff, we're just yapping until we get to see you naked. Of course, yeah. So it's just like whatever works. Yeah.
So, I mean, on one side of this equation, you know, the person doesn't really care. Plus, guys will lie, right? If they see a woman's picture that they like, they'll say they hate anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's true. I mean, I think that's true whether it's this app or anything else. Guys lying to get laid, there's no app that can cure that problem.
Yes.
Yeah, this is just something, it's a marketing tool, and people are talking about it. There's really no difference between this and that because nobody reads the little profiles anyway.
Yeah.
Have you ever swiped up to go read the profile? No. You go, is she hot? Yeah. Is she hot? Yeah. That's that.
Yeah. I just skim for the word transgender, and if I don't find that, I'm like, oh,
he just moved on.
All right, coming up. Get ready for lonely orangutans. A new Tinder-like app is coming just for you. It's hard out there for a chimp. Yes, for great apes, meeting the right mate isn't easy. So a Dutch zoo has created Tinder for orangutans, a 4-year experiment in which a female will choose her partner by selecting from options on a touchscreen. The goal is to avoid unsuccessful matches. A biologist at the zoo notes, often animals have to be taken back to the zoo they came from without mating. Things don't always go well when a male and a female first meet. One issue so far, researchers are struggling to find a tablet that the orangutan can't break. To be fair to her, it must be infuriating when all your potential matches keep sending you nudes. Of course, before the internet, chimps used to meet their mates on dating hotlines.
Good boy. Hang that phone up. Hang it up.
It's always funny to me. I love a chimp.
I guess that wasn't a match made in heaven. Our thanks to America's Funniest Home Videos for that clip. I wanted to give him credit.
Yeah, the sad thing is that monkey went on to rip that woman's face off.
Oh, no. That was a different video.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of something else.
Yeah. AFV, I call them on the street. Great show. Dave, you think this is going to work?
America's Funniest Home Videos? Yeah, it's been going on for decades.
No, for the orangutans.
Oh, the dating app.
Yes.
You know, Tom, I have high hopes. I always wonder what it is in their minds when the mating doesn't work out.
Yeah.
And they bring him back, and they're just like, so nothing happened, and they're just like, oh no, he's totally racist. I don't know, like what. But yeah, their apes are picky.
They need a match too. It works for humans.
Yes.
Right? So they have to let them choose. I mean, it's just technology letting the apes choose.
Exactly. This is an innovative, out-of-the-box idea, and I love it. I mean, what is the worst that could happen? You put the two monkeys in a cage, they don't like each other, they throw poop. That's the end of it. They go their separate ways, and it is a win-win because either we get baby orangutans or we learn a valuable lesson, which is that Tinder does not work for monkeys.
Easy.
We may learn.
Yeah.
It's Lewis.
Win-win.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, Tom. I just read the headline of this article.
Very important
I thought
one.
They were trying to match orangutans with human beings. And that, I think, was the plot of Outbreak. So I thought it was a terrible idea when I wrote my notes, and I was like, why would we do this? I believe that we're going to spread some sort of communicable diseases. Turns out it was wrong.
You got to go, Jimmy.
This is great. Now we have a dating app for chimps, so instead of Curious George, we now have Bi-Curious George.
That's it. Good night, everybody. I'm glad I waited. Welcome to Red Eye. Hello, everyone. I am Tom Shillue. Let's check in with TV's Andy Levy at the Red Eye Tees deck. Andy.
Thanks, Tom. Coming up on the big show, Donald Trump says don't worry about his tough phone calls that he has with other countries. By the way, I just feel like he's giving the finger. I honestly just noticed that. Yeah. Go ahead and scroll up. I don't even need a punchline there. He's giving the finger. Plus, Arnold Schwarzenegger offers to switch jobs with President Trump. I can't tell if this is a better idea for America or for Schwarzenegger's next film. And finally, a new dating app finds your matches based on your mutual hatred of certain things. Sadly for me, the thing I hate most is dating apps. Oh well. Back to you, Tom.
Thank you, Andy. Let's welcome our guests. You down with GOP? Yeah, you know she. Columnist and author of the new book, Government Gone Wild, Kristen Tate. He appeared on Last Comic Standing. He was the first comic leaving. Comedian Louis J. Gomez. Like all of the Smiths you hear on the radio, he's super depressing. Comedian comedian Dave Smith.
Too real.
And his special is called State of the Union. Judging by his appearance, I'd say the union is about to be divorced.
Hey, a lot of
sitting right next to me, comedian Shillue February. Okay, let's start the show.
A lot of tough love.
What is this?
President Trump is willing to talk tough to friend and foe alike. The Washington Post reports that the president's phone call on Saturday with Australia's Prime Minister, Malcolm Turnbull, turned heated. The reason? Trump doesn't like the pledge made by the Obama administration to take in over 1,200 refugees from an Australian detention center. Senior U.S. officials tell the Post, Trump said, quote, "This is the worst deal ever." And he complained that he was going to get killed politically and accused Australia of seeking to export the next Boston bombers. The Post reports, at one point, Trump informed Turnbull that he had spoken with 4 other world leaders that day and that this was the worst call by far. When Turnbull tried to change topics, Trump ended the call. Now, Red Eye was able to obtain some other quotes from Trump during the conversation. According to our source, Trump told Turnbull he was never a fan of Crocodile Dundee. He has just about had it with koala bears. And he even gave the Prime Minister his opinion of the Great Barrier Reef. These are all real quotes. On Thursday, the president told people, don't worry about this tough talk.
The world is in trouble, but we're going to straighten it out, okay? That's what I do. I fix things. We're going to straighten it out. Believe me, when you hear about the tough phone calls I'm having, don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. They're tough. We have to be tough. It's time we're going to be a little tough, folks. We're taken advantage of by every nation in the world virtually. It's not going to happen anymore.
It's not going to happen. Jimmy, it's not going to happen, right? Listen, look, he says he's talking tough with anybody. He doesn't care who it is.
This is, you know, they say you can't change Grandpa.
Yeah.
I think what we realize now.
I don't know if they say.
Well, that's like a theory. They say, "Oh, you can't change Grandpa."
Yeah.
I think we've gotten to this theory at like the top of government now, where they understand how to deal with Trump. That's why I'm not scared.
Yeah.
Like, you know, have you ever had a grandparent who loses their filter? You know, like, how are you, Grandma? You look fat. You know what I mean? Like, that's hello. I think he's gotten to that place now, where, you know, you take Grandpa out to dinner and he orders something he's not allowed to have, and after the waiter goes to walk away, like, you grab him and you're like, yo, he can't have cheese. Like, I think that's what's going on with Trump's phone calls. I think he's ordering something from Malcolm Turnbull, and then right as he goes to hang up, like, Pence picks up on the other line, like, yeah, we can't have cheese. Like, I think everything is cool, because I think we now realize at the top of government that, yeah, like, we kind of enjoy this, but he's doing Grandpa stuff. He's the oldest guy ever elected. Everyone forgets that. He's 70.
He is.
He might have just lost his filter. I love it, but as a president, it looks a little silly.
Look.